Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Planet Zoo Mod Showcase. As to be expected at this point, we have a lot of beautiful mods to check out, including some very fantastic extinct species, some still living, but still nonetheless very useful living species, some very good looking fish, and a whole lot of other stuff. I'm sorry I didn't decorate today. Sue me. But before we do get started, I do want to say modding is not officially endorsed by Frontier. This is a PC only thing. You can't mod consoles. But yeah, if you do choose to mod in the first place, be sure to follow the tutorials. They can get the chance to get your game to crash. But if you follow all the instructions, you'll be installing these fantastic new items so seamlessly. And let's get started with our new plants over here. This is Great Cakes Mod's Easter pack, and you have a bunch of really awesome new plants in here. Just nice little garden decorations. You get some calla lilies. You get some tulips, you get some the coneflowers, what are they called? Yeah, purple coneflowers. These guys had these all over my yard when I was a little tyke. But yeah, you get some really awesome looking new plants. Get some violets over there, those are the calla lilies, sorry. You get Christmas cactus, a really awesome looking succulent. And yeah, you just get these really awesome pieces. Now, before we do kind of get started with scenery mods, it is important to note. Now, before we do get started with kind of like talking about these, if you do take these files out of your game, and then you try and load into this map with these still kind of placed down, your game will crash. And that's important to note for anything that's like a physical item. Animals, that won't happen to, but plants, even like Hexabit's new paths, that will crash your game, so just keep that in mind. But those are some really good looking plants, but this caught my eye. These are the monsoon signs by Great Cake Mod. So in love with these. You get some really awesome pieces of art over here. Not just signs, these are pieces of art from Cake. You get all the classic monsoon mods. You get the iconic ones like the pelican, you get the really beautiful looking ones like the Saula. I love the primates on here. These guys all look so cool. I love that longer one. There's just something so cool about like that art style in there. And these just aren't all a single art style too. There's a bunch of different kind of like interpretations. The mallard is a little bit more sketched out. Meanwhile, you have something a little bit more clean like the Debraza monkey. I love that one so much. But yeah, it's just a bunch of really awesome new props for you guys to use. It's so cool. And finally, in terms of other plants, we have the Patagonia plant pack. This has a bunch of really awesome, cool looking plants in here. If I can select them. The hitboxes are a little weird, but that's just because Planet Zoo hitboxes are not really the best. Tussock grass right over here. You get 3 different variants of those. These are very iconic. These are the pampas grasses. Very cool looking plants over here. And yeah, you get a bunch of like new kinds of bamboo in here. You get this one over here, Chilean firebrush. You get some new driftwood or deadwood pieces over here. These are going to be so cool for kind of throwing into like primate habitats, or if you just want to add something else to your habitat, just throwing a little bit of extra decor in there. You got these really awesome looking ferns. A bunch of cool looking trees, and what I do like about these trees is that the canopies are just so high up. And that way, if I do take this one over here, which is the Lenga beech tree, and I want to make like a big old grove of these guys in here, you can actually get a very decent looking forest that really does sell the look of them. That's the thing I love about these trees, is that these are how trees typically grow. They grow up, you know? So yeah, you get that really awesome looking canopy in there. It just feels so realistic. So great job, Cake, on getting that to come together. But people care about animals so much, and we are getting started with a beautiful new antelope species. This is the Impala by Mark. Now, it does have 3 different variants. There are 3 different files. This one is the Longhorn file, so you can basically change the size of the horns in here. Model variation still isn't discovered just yet, but I hope soon that we'll be able to get all 3 versions on a single mod. That would be so cool. But yeah, Impalas, they're basically kind of like, you know, the white-tailed deer of Africa. Really awesome looking model by Mark over here. He does such a fantastic job with his hoof stock. It just looks fantastic, buddy. Great job. If we check out their Zoopedia, we can see Yep, they're more so from southern Africa, southeast-ish. But yeah, great species over here. A lot of interspecies enrichment, which I always do like to see. But yeah, great job, Mark. Moving on from there, we are checking out a very interesting canine. This is the short-eared dog, another member of like the weird carnivores of South America. Short-eared dogs are canines, of course, but they are just they are just some of the weirdest looking ones out there. They're found mainly in the Amazon, which is very cool. No interspecies enrichment because, of course, they are carnivores, even though, look at that stupid face. I love them. So adorable. This is by Great Cake Mods. I don't know if I said that yet, but great job, Cake. Always do love to see more representation for weird fellas down in South America. And Cake brings to us another bird once again. This time it is the kaka, New Zealand kaka. Yeah, these guys are so adorable. Interspecies enrichment with the North Island brown kiwi. That is always cool to see. They have, you know, custom zoopedia, as pretty much all animals do, which is nice. But yeah, what a funky looking fella. I do love to see these guys. But yeah, it's just another New Zealand bird, fully custom animated, which is really, really awesome to see. And I think Cake has actually made these all like custom models at this point. Like there is not one lick of Wolverine in there anymore, which is kind of funny. But yeah, what a fantastic looking critter. I do love to see that. So great job, Cake. Lots of nice color variations on them too. All right, we are going to get a little aquatic today. We are checking out a couple of new fish from Aquatics. We are going to start off with the fox face. What kind of fox face? The magnificent fox face. Really awesome looking fish over here. That's pretty much it. The thing about fish, to me, is I can only say so much about them. You really need fish in a good amount of, like, in a good amount, basically. You need a ton of diversity, and what Aquatics is doing for people who use fish mods in Planet Zoo, he's doing a really great service by including as many as he can, and he's getting some really awesome species because of that. And I just wanted to shout him out because of that, because it takes a lot, you know? Besides that, we have the rockfish, the flag rockfish. Really cool looking species over here. They have a couple of different color morphs, which is very cool. But yeah, it's just a very nice, bright looking fish. I don't know, I just like rockfish so much. They're just weird looking guys. And finally, we have this guy over here, the giant sea bass. What a funky looking fella. I mean, just look at this. I don't know if these guys are in captivity or not, but I don't really care because they are just a fun looking fish. I like weird fish. But yeah, really great fish for filling out like your kelp forest and stuff like that. If you're trying to make something kind of inspired by Birch Aquarium or Aquarium of the Pacific, these guys would be a really great addition to have in there. Alright, but what else? We are getting a little tropical in this one. This is the alligator gar. What a great species to have. So yes, the original alligator gar was removed from the Nexus at one point, and I just haven't had time to make a new one. So I'm really happy that Aquatics actually took it under his own mantle to make his own alligator gar. I mean, just look at this. The scales, everything. This is a beautiful looking species. And alligator gar, of course, are known across the world for just being these like nice ferocious species and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, they're found pretty much around here. I always thought they were South America, but I don't know. Maybe that was... yeah, maybe that was Endless Ocean that got me thinking about those. But yeah, they are invasive to Florida, which is very interesting. You know, Florida right over there. But yeah, they're found in the Mississippi, which I never considered. Like, that's crazy to me. All right, we have a strange one today. I'm so happy to see new modders on here, and especially ones that aren't afraid to get a little silly. This is the Loch Ness Monster by Frog Stitch. Oh my word, what a funky looking fella. Let's pause them a little bit so we can see them up close. So yeah, just a strange looking critter over here. Again, I'm always happy to see someone who is just not afraid to get weird with Planet Zoo. And this to me is the perfect amount of weird. Loch Ness Monster is, of course, one of the most famous cryptids in like the world pretty much. Comes out of Scotland, so I'm glad that they get a little bit of representation in Planet Zoo. Besides, you know, the Scottish wildcat. But yeah, what a funky looking critter. It's based on the sea lion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a weird looking guy. So yeah, great job, Frog Stitch. much. Happy to see this weird little thing in Planet Zoo. They do have interspecies enrichment, which this got a good laugh out of me. All the Scottish animals, so that's great. But yeah, a bunch of information about the Loch Ness Monster. It's critically endangered, so we should probably be taking good care of their environment. I love that. I love when people get silly. But yeah, besides that, we have one more species in here. You can see it's very small. That is because it is the Ocellaris clownfish by Lowbury. What a great little species to have in here, and Lowbury did a great job at really making this species stand out. So basically, what you might know about Ocellaris clownfish is that they're one of the most commonly aquacultured fish out there. So you get a lot of interesting morphs with these species. You get ones that are a little bit more black and white. You get some that have very interesting kind of color morphs. They're being a little weird today. I'm not sure why they're all on land. I think if I go in here and box them all up and then unbox them, they should find their way to the water. Yep, and it takes them quite a bit of time. Yeah, fish mods, they're just weird in Planet Zoo. I love them so much. But yeah, the way that we were able to get them to work, it's kind of strange. But yeah, you typically get these different kind of morphs, like the snowflake morph over here. Really, really pretty. I do love seeing, like, all the clownfish morphs. They're so cool to me. But yeah, great job, Lowbury. Lowbury has been doing some great stuff in the game as of late, and it's just so awesome to see, like, the range of some modders, you know, just doing a bunch of different things. Alright, we are looking at an extinct mod by Great Cake Mods over here. This is the Cuban howler monkey. What a fun little species. So yeah, Cuban howler monkey from Cuba. These guys are now officially extinct. I think they went extinct a couple years ago. Oh no, they went extinct very long ago, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, 18 million years old. Wow, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, it's kind of cool to think about how Cuba actually had primates on it at one point. I don't know, it's just you never think about that. But yeah, what a beautiful interpretation of this species. I do love that kind of detailing on the back. I mean, just look at that fur, like, style. I don't know. It's so bright. It's so pretty. Great job, Cake. But you also brought to us the Venezuelan red howler monkey. But yeah, it just looks so good, Cake. I mean, it has that perfect little beard that you expect howlers to have. I think howlers do have a guttural sac in there, which is fairly cool. But yeah, it's just a fantastic looking monkey. Here's the male. They have a little bit more of a more pronounced kind of beard, which is great. And yeah, it's great. It's based on the Saki, which is the newest primate that we got. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Look at them go. So cute. But yeah, that's a beautiful looking color on their Cake. I love that. But yeah, let's see what else we have. We have the black-necked stilt by LSRPZ. This is a great species. I think these are Eurasian species? Oh no, these are the North American ones. I'm so sorry. I did see these guys in the Galapagos, which was super fun. But yeah, interspecies enrichment with the flamingo, so you can have a nice interspecies kind of habitat with them. And they're just a really cool kind of wading bird, which is always cool to see. But yeah, great job, LSR. Always so happy to see these. A little bit less underrepresented. Always happy to see these underrated shorebird species pop up on the Nexus. It's just so great. So great job on that. LSR is not done yet. They also bring to us the giant koala, or Phascolarctos steroni? Sure, I mean, sure. It's just an extinct koala. It's a large koala, which is cool. Went extinct about 50,000 years ago, and that's about it. They were too big for their own good. But yeah, what a cool looking mod. If you guys want to do like an extinct paleo zoo with koalas in it, you have your chance now. All right, we also have another Lowbury mod. This time it is the Siberian lynx. Based off of Gaboy's remaster for the Eurasian lynx, the Siberian lynx is a subspecies after all. It's only found in kind of like Russia kind of area. It's actually confirmed that, so I'm not talking out of my ass. All right, a little bit of North Korea too, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, what a cool looking species. I do love that. It's just so cool getting different subspecies in the game that look vastly different from what we currently have in game. Of course, the Siberian lynx is a little bit more paler. It's a little bit more blonde to fit in with like that tundra and the snow and stuff like that. What a cool looking animal though. Great job, Lobry. All right, we have another extinct cat from Cake. Barborphelus Fricky. He's a freaky little guy. Yeah. North American big cat. Very cool. Trying to find out anything else I can learn about it. You know, it's a pack species, I suppose. Suggested to be as large as lions. Very interesting. It looks cool. He looks a little worse for wear right now, but yeah, it's a saber-tooth-ish species, I suppose. Very cool looking critter, but yeah. Sorry guys, I just can't talk much about the extinct big cats. I just don't care. We have another Polaris mod. This time it is the red lechwe. Yeah, it is another hoofstock animal. I do love lechwes though. I do love lechwes. Yep, interspecies enrichment with a bunch of different species in here. Lechwes are known for a little bit more of like an aquatic. Yeah, like more suited for aquatic traversability, which is kind of interesting. That's how they kind of get like these nice kind of grizzled beards on them. They're just a really cool looking species. Lechwes, just awesome. And finally, kind of like my most anticipated bird mod ever, it is the Bali Myna. Extremely endangered bird from the island of Bali. Very beautiful and very common in zoos. Cake, just so you know, I think the texture might be missing from, what is that? That's the female. Yeah, just keep that in mind, girl. But yeah, what a beautiful looking bird. Probably one of Cake's best looking birds out there. I do love these. And of course, her birds can fly. Oh yeah, there's only 50 in the wild, which is kind of insane to think about. But yeah, I've seen these a million times in zoos. They are really awesome to see. Even my local zoo has them, which is great. But yeah, it's just so cool to see. Great job, Cake. I love seeing the birds. It makes me so happy. All right, we are going to take a trip over here. We have another Polaris mod. Actually, is this Polaris? Yes, it is. Okay, it is the giant tapir. It's just a big old tapir. I do kind of like the texture job that Polaris did on this. And yeah, it is an extinct species from Asia, which is kind of cool. And yeah, it is just a big tapir that is now dead. It's cool. I do like the kind of grizzled, kind of gray look on the body. I think that's a really cool interpretation of it. So yeah, honestly, great job, Polaris. I'm happy to see that. And a bunch of interspecies enrichment with your classic Asian animals. Very cool. We have another Cake extinct hyena, Amatocyon kynos. Sure. It is from extinct Spain or prehistoric Spain. Very cool looking weird hyena thing. Again, I don't know what else there is to say about these extinct hyenas, but they keep coming out and there's always another, so I gotta find something to say. But no, regardless, I'm so happy with this Cake. That looks like a beautiful job on the coat. Like, it is always so cool to see Cake's kind of interpretations of these species, because no one else is really making art of these guys out there, you know? In fact, I think this might be the most popularity this species has ever gotten, so that's kind of funny. All right, we have another mod from Alisar. This is the Procoptodon, I think. Yeah, Procoptodon. Yep, it's a giant extinct kangaroo. I believe it was the largest kangaroo species to ever exist. Bunch of interspecies enrichment in here, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it is the classic, the giant kangaroo. So yeah, again, if you guys are doing a extinct zoo or paleo zoo, these are a great species to have in there. Just a really cool looking animal. They're pretty much are like the pugs of the kangaroo world though, which is kind of interesting to think about. All right, moving on from there, we are checking out Cyanosua Mirani, extinct Kawadi raccoon relative. Really interesting looking interpretation on these species. It does look fairly cool. But yeah, that is just an extinct raccoon. I'll tell you what, this one is pretty cool. big ups to Cake for this one. I do like this interpretation of it. And yeah, it is just fairly interesting looking. I don't know. It looks nice. But with that, she has also graced us with the Raccoon remaster. But yeah, this basically just takes the normal base game Raccoon, makes it a little bit more stringy, gives it a little bit more of an accurate looking face. I'm pretty happy with this. This looks fairly neat. I don't know. I would love to see someone take, like, you know, this raccoon and just make North American raccoon and make it like a big chunky raccoon, the kind that, you know, is kind of digging out of the alleyways at night. That would be cool. And it's a valid subspecies too, so that'd be fairly interesting to see. But yeah, great job, Cake. Always happy to see a brand new remaster for the game. We have a brand new modder on the scene, my friends. I'm trying to find their name right now, but this is... Alright, this is the Swedish Black Chicken by Rocky Pocky Puff. Again, it's just a brand new chicken breed that you guys can have in your game, and it's just a black chicken. Nothing much else to say other than that. It is a heritage breed from Sweden after all, which is pretty cool to see. I like that. But yeah, it's kind of domesticated from that little area of Sweden over there. Full custom zoopedia, which is great to see, and it has interspecies enrichment with these Sussex chickens, so you can have these nice big enclosures of these colorful breeds of chicken, which is always so cool to see. We have a brand new pheasant over here by Great Cake Mods. This is... I could just check in the game over here. Swinehose pheasant. It is a Southeast Asian pheasant. Oh, it's from Taiwan, actually. That's pretty cool. Interspecies enrichment with a Chinese pangolin, which is a fairly novel kind of interspecies enrichment idea. I kind of like that. But yeah, what a beautiful looking bird. I'm always so happy to see pheasants. They're always so common in zoos because they're relatively easy to take care of. They're super pretty looking. And yeah, they just add a brand new pop of color to your zoos, which is always so cool to see, even the females. We have another mod by LSR. I keep clicking on the damn stone. Here is the ruff. It's a very cool looking bird from, I believe, the UK and beyond. Yeah, it's from the UK. Yeah. I was looking at the UK recently. It's from also Russia, Eurasia, pretty much Turkey, Africa, and apparently Australia? Oh yeah, apparently Australia, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, this bird is known for its very iconic breeding male plumage. It's a very interesting looking species over here, and honestly, Alistar, you've really outdone yourself. This looks so cool. I don't know, I think I might have seen these species in zoos before. I might be wrong, but I've never seen anything like that before, so that just looks so cool to me. So great job on that. All right, what else do we have? We have this extinct horse-looking thing from Great Cake Mods, Hyracodon nebraskensis. It's a extinct looking horse pony-like mammal from North America. Really weird looking guy over here. I kind of like that. It does have interspecies enrichment, but with nothing that I currently have installed right now. It is interesting though. If you take a look at their feet, this is like, you know, Artiodactyl means even-toed ungulate. So these aren't Artiodactyls. Perissodactyl, yeah. These are perissodactyls, which are odd-toed ungulate, so you can typically look at how many hoofs the animal has or something like that. Fairly interesting. But yeah, what a funky looking horse. I can't tell if it's supposed to be skin or if it's supposed to be hair, but it just looks so cool. It looks like those Mexican hairless dogs, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, what a cool looking animal. Just a really awesome North American extinct hoofstock species. Love it. I really do. Up here, we have another mod by Great Cake Mods. This is looking like a severely malnourished tiger, but it is the Malayan tiger. What a beautiful interpretation of it. Again, really great colors on here by Cake, and the stripe patterns are just fantastic once again. Malayan tigers, of course, are only found in Malaysia, I believe. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, what a great little species in here. There's no clear difference between Malayan and Indo-Chinese tigers. Ah, interesting. Yeah, tiger subspecification. Not really my forte, and honestly, I don't really want to get into that. But yeah, what a cool looking tiger in here. I know Malayan tigers are relatively popular in zoos, so if you guys do want to get one, feel free to. The mod is up there, and it's free. Alright, we have these final mods in this little section over here. This is by Polaris. This is the Avian principale, sure, South American horse species that went extinct a couple thousand years ago. Very cool looking animal over here. Very cool interpretation with these little stripes going down the body. That's pretty much it. It looks neat. However, this one might be one of my favorites. This is the Inca tern, super common in zoos. It is one of our first tern species that we have in the game. I just do love them. They have these funky little mustaches. They're just the cutest little things in the world. And they also have a lot of really vibrant colors. The yellows, the whites, the blacks, the reds. It all works together so well to get this very vibrant looking bird that is perfect to kind of throw in like your penguin habitats and stuff like that. They do have interspecies enrichment with your Galapagos species, which is great to see. But yeah, great job, Cake. Always happy to see those. And yeah, I guess that is pretty much our entire mod showcase today. That's great. Yeah, I do apologize. These have kind of slowed down in terms of how often I'm able to get them out, just because I want to prioritize the bigger videos. And also, I want to fill out this map as much as I can. I usually wait until there's at least, like, 25, 30 mods for me to check out. And then we can start the cycle over again. But yeah, what a great little showcase. All the modders in here should be so proud of themselves. There's so much awesome stuff for you guys to check out on the workshop. I think some of my favorites have to be, I think it's the Bali Mina. Where are you? Yeah, look at these guys. They're so cute. We're gonna end it right there, folks, though. Oh, perfect. He's flying for us. Let me know your favorites that you got this week, or let me know what you're hoping to see in terms of mods in the future. I'm not gonna make them because I'm kinda retired at that rate, but I'm so curious to hear what you guys have to say. Have the most wonderful days, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.